All right, let's talk about a cosmic wager, a bet that revolves around one of the most dangerous ideas in all of philosophy, Nietzsche's Overman. We're going to get into a wild story today.
So let's just start with this question because it's really the whole ballgame. What if a philosopher's madness wasn't the end of the story? What if it was actually the start of something? The birth of, well, a god?
And right away, you've got this cynical voice chiming in, a beautiful mind consumed by its own fire. And for what? This is a direct shot at Friedrich Nietzsche. The idea is that his genius, his incredible world-shaking ideas, just burned him out and led to nothing. But here's the twist. What if that fire didn't just consume him? What if it forged him into something else entirely?
Okay, so to really get this wager, you have to get the man behind it all. Let's dig into the mind of Friedrich Nietzsche. So let's set the scene. We're in 19th century Europe, and you've got this pale, intense scholar, Friedrich Nietzsche, who's not just thinking, he's wrestling. He feels this suffocating weight of what he calls human delusion just crushing down on him. And the thing he's fighting against, he gives it a name: slave morality. Now, this is a bombshell of an idea. He basically says that everything we've been taught is good, pity, humility, compassion, isn't some divine truth. Nope. He saw it as a clever trick, a value system cooked up by the weak out of fear and resentment, specifically to hold down the strong and deny their natural will to power.
And all of this leads to his most famous, or maybe infamous, line of all: God is dead. And look, he wasn't just trying to be edgy. What he meant was that the entire foundation for that old morality had crumbled. We were on our own. And that's terrifying, right? But it's also freeing. It meant humanity had to create its own values, its own meaning, beyond the old ideas of good and evil.
All right, so we've got the man and his ideas. Now, let's blow this thing up to a cosmic scale. We're talking about a heavenly wager.
So who's making this bet? Well, these are the cosmic players. First, you've got the all-will. And I want to be clear, this is not your friendly neighborhood god. It's the universe, the raw, indifferent force of existence. It is the will to power. And betting against it, you've got Mephistopheles, the spirit who denies. He's basically the embodiment of everything Nietzsche hated: human weakness, that whole slave morality, all rolled into one. And you can bet they see things differently. When Mephistopheles looks at Nietzsche's mental breakdown, he just sees a pathetic, weak human falling apart. But the all-will, it sees something else entirely. It sees his madness as the first flicker of divine frenzy, the price you pay for staring right into the abyss and not blinking. So that's the wager, right there. It's on. Is this whole Overman philosophy just some brilliant idea from a madman? Or is it something real, something authentic? Will the creation that comes from this fall for the same old sweet, comforting lies that humans have always told themselves? Okay, so you've got this cosmic bet hanging over everything. But how does it play out down here on Earth? Well, this is where it gets nuts. It's not just a philosophical debate anymore. It's a full-on, top-secret scientific experiment, Project Zarathustra. Yeah, believe it or not, while these cosmic forces are placing bets, humanity is trying to weaponize the very same idea. Down in some hidden bunker, they're running Project Zarathustra. And what's the goal? To build a weaponized Overman, a super soldier to fight in their own petty wars. The hubris is just off the charts. And their method is straight out of a comic book. They're hitting Nietzsche's system with billions of gamma rays. They're literally trying to force his transformation into a pre-designed template they're calling Wotan. They actually think they can build a god in a lab. And this is the moment it all happens. The experiment works. Wotan awakens. The Übermensch is here. Imagine it. The lab is flooded with energy. And then a scream. A single scream that just tears through the silence of the laboratory. But listen closely. That's not a scream of pain. Not even close. It's a roar. It's a sound of sheer primal affirmation. He isn't being tortured. He's becoming. He is embracing this power, merging with it. This is his will. What you're witnessing here is philosophy made real. That will to power, that divine frenzy that Nietzsche wrote about, it's being given a body. His ideas are literally becoming flesh. So what can this new being actually do?
Well, his abilities are kind of deceptive. Don't expect him to fly or shoot lasers from his eyes. He's more like the absolute peak of human potential. Think Captain America-level strength and agility, an unbreakable body. But that's just the surface. His real power, the dangerous part, is psychological. It's his philosophy made flesh. And that means he answers to absolutely no one.
And this is precisely why the whole experiment blows up in the scientists' faces. As the All-Well watches from above, it says it all. His will is the variable they cannot control. Sure, they built the vessel, they created the body, but they had no idea how to cage the mind inside it. No chance. So the experiment is a success, but a chaotic one. The Overman is here, and he's free. So, what now? Let's talk about the meaning of the Earth.
He walks out of the ruins of that laboratory a new being. The man known as Friedrich Nietzsche is gone. He names himself Hutan, the restless seeker of truth.
And you can guess how Mephistopheles feels about this. He is absolutely horrified. He looks at Wotan and sees a monster, a god walking around in human skin, with zero compassion, zero limits, a tyrant of the will. For Mephistopheles, this is the ultimate nightmare. The old world order looking at the very thing that's going to make it obsolete. But for the all-will, this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The wager isn't over just because he transformed. The real proof, the real test, is what he does now. Every single action he takes from this moment on is the proof. The game has just begun. And that leaves us and you with the big question, doesn't it? After all the philosophy, the cosmic bet, the gamma rays, what is this thing that's been unleashed? Is he a savior who's going to push humanity past its limits? Or is he a tyrant, born from nothing but his own unstoppable will? Is this Overman a savior, or is he a monster?